Ta-da! What is happening out there in YouTube land? Yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. Welcome aboard, my friends. Welcome aboard. Well, gigging versus YouTube. It's a little subject that we happen to know a little thing about. Which is better? They both have their advantages and they both have their disadvantages. The advantages on gigging is that, one, you get to travel. And for us, we've traveled basically through a lot of parts of the United States, a whole lot of parts of the United States, abroad and up north and west and east. Been to Canada, Mexico, done a couple of gigs in Europe. One was in Ireland, Killarney, Ireland, and one was for NATO in Brussels, Belgium. And of course, all the gigs we've done down here in Southwest Florida, as well as, Illinois, where we're originally from. And YouTube, we've been on YouTube actually since October of 2006 on our other channel, just titled Dave Byron. On that channel, you'll see a lot of videos where I'm playing parts of songs for like these wedding gigs and that. But also you'll see some of the gigs. And we've got a couple of, I think we got a couple of gigs from Texas up there, and a little bit of some demo reviews and that. But the advantages of gigging live is that you're playing in front of an audience right there, and you get to meet all these people. And of course, like I said, when you travel, you get to see all these places that you normally wouldn't really see. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And when you gig, you usually get paid right there. You don't have to wait for mail money to come in the mail. On some, you will, but for the most part, it's right there. You collect your money. You sell your merchandise right there. You get tipped right there. And so that's your advantages there. And let's see, when you're gigging, it's just, if you come from the same time frame that we have, that's what we did. We played. I started playing guitar in 1974, and literally I started gigging in 1974, or doing live performance in 1974 in grade school, and gigging as a teenager in some of the clubs in Chicago. And the advantages there is that whole experience. The people react right there, and you get to bounce your energy off of them right there. And for together, Deb and I have been doing this for a little over 20 years together. And on YouTube, like I said, we've been on YouTube since October 2006. So the advantages of gigging is there's a lot there. It's the experience, and you're moving around, you're in different places, and you see different people. It's fantastic. It's great. I guess your disadvantages really would be, it could get tiring when you're doing a lot of traveling. There are times the show must go on, and you got to perform, and you're fatigued, you're tired. You're at the mercy of weather if you're playing outdoors. Whether it gets hot up in Chicago as well, and we do gigs up in Wisconsin at the Bristol Renaissance Fair, and we're outside, so you're in that extreme heat. And of course, down here in Southwest Florida, you're in the extreme heat. But also back in Chicago, we would do a lot of gigs in the wintertime, and you have to drag your gear through the snow, and that is it wears you down. It's you get tired from that, and so that's the disadvantages really of that. But likewise, with the advantages of YouTube, the advantages are um, you could literally do a performance when you really feel like doing a performance, and you will reach worldwide audience. You just won't reach them in person unless you're doing a live video right there, like we were doing with some of our gigs down here with the live streaming. Um, and actually, one of the best live performers I've seen on YouTube that really keeps the guitar alive is the Joe Winch Project. He does a great job. He's a great guitar player, great guy, and virtually all of his videos are him playing. And you know what? Honestly, it doesn't matter if you're in a small studio room like this, or like in his studio room. You're still performing. You're still putting on a show. So that's a great advantage there. And again, what the advantage with YouTube is that, if you feel like you're going to make a mistake, you don't have to do that take. You could do another take of that performance, and then you could edit out and you go load it up. So there's another advantage of YouTube. And again, like I said before, you do reach a worldwide audience. If you're tired, you don't have to do the performance. Again, it's all at your will. The disadvantage of YouTube would be if you wanted to collect money, and you're not interacting with people. It's different than a live performance. And basically, again, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. One is not really better than the other. When it comes to your gear, when you do live performances, that's where you're going to find out how well your gear will stand up to the travel, the weather, and all the performances, because it's being moved around. It's in different climates. Whereas you do YouTube videos, you have more of a controlled climate. And if you have real expensive gear you don't want to ruin, well then with YouTube you're not gonna ruin it. I'm not saying you'll ruin it necessarily when you are gigging and you're traveling and that. It's just that's going to be moved around. And you do have the risk of, people in the audience at some of the bar gigs, they might accidentally step on something or spill, a drink on something. It happens. It's not done intentional, it's something to keep in mind. But with your gear, this is where it's going to really stand up to the true test. It's not going to be so much how much expensive the piece of gear is, versus how much it can stand up to the actual wear and tear. If you're spending a lot of money on a piece of gear, it should be able to stand up. But keep in mind that it could be so exclusively built that it might be more fragile than something that's cheaper made. And if something that is of a less expensive, you could buy mass quantities of that same product in case, pedal A breaks down, your backup pedal is the exact same model, and you it. You just do a replacement right there, and boom, you're good to go. The performance still goes on. And again, with a disadvantage with YouTube, you won't really get paid right then and there. That's for people who are, relying on it to make money. But all in all, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. And again, not one is better than the other. It really depends what your situation is and how you want to go about, your performance. Do you want to do it live or do you want to go on YouTube? It really doesn't matter. If you travel by plane, you always check with the airlines. Get good gig bags. What we used to do is put our guitars in the overhead compartment, and we were able to have our pedals put in a pedal bag and slide it under the seat in front of us. The fly rigs, they've always been around. It's just a new terminology. Some of the pedals are built a little bit smaller, but it's the same concept. You got a piece of an effect unit that you could go directly into a house system at the venue, wherever you're going to be at. So, if you got more gear you want to put on a plane, it's going to be more expensive. If you take it on a car, keep in mind, not only are you going to be up against your fuel costs, and they'll vary from state to state. There'll be a generalized overall price range, but your gas prices will vary from state to state, and the taxes will vary from state to state. But one thing you got to keep in mind if you're going to travel from state to state doing live performances, what you got to keep in mind is the time zones. That is very important. Whether you're driving or whether you're flying, you have to keep that in mind. So that's something you would have to make sure you remember. But all in all, like I said, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, and not one is better than the other. It depends in what your personal situation is and how you want to go about, playing. Anyways, my friends, this is going to be one of a few videos I'm going to put up, basically this versus that. And there's pros and cons to every subject. So just take it with a grain of salt, have an open mind and apply what is best for you. That's always the best way to go about anything. See what your personal situation is and take advantage to what will work for you. So if that makes any sense, it should. Anyways, I just wanted to put this video up, and thank you for your support and watching our videos, and we'll be putting up another video like this soon. Until next time, my friends, you stay safe, you stay true. Rock on, my friends, and God bless you.